So we're sitting right now at Confluence Park, which is the confluence of Cherry Creek and the South Platte River, two of Denver's largest water bodies. This is really the heart of Denver and where it was founded. And it's really the heart of our project. So my project is focused on the ecological restoration of the South Platte River, at least the northern section of it in Denver, so about 6.5 miles, focusing on restoring aquatic, riparian, and wetland habitat along the South Platte River. And then there's also flood risk mitigation that's associated with this project, primarily in Weir Gulch and East Harvard Gulch neighborhood. Really exciting thing about this project is that as a result of this project, Denver currently has about 0.7% of land mass is considered wetland. One of the outcomes of this project is that we will increase that number to 6.5% wetland within Denver alone. And 80% of species in Colorado rely on wetland. So it's a very critical habitat, and one, as Denver and Colorado continues to grow and the population grows and urbanization increases, we are seeing decreases in that type of habitat. And so that's really one critical piece of this. And the second is that this is truly a regionally significant project because the South Platte River and the area around here is part of what's called the Central Flyway. So there's a lot of migratory birds that rely on this habitat here in the South Platte. If you're standing in the mountains and looking east, you don't see a ton of vegetation. It tends to also follow our main waterways, et cetera. And so it's really critical that we focus on protecting, enhancing, and restoring those waterways. And so again, this is really going to be aimed at making some really lasting impacts that will reshape what this river looks like, not just for today, but for generations to come. So very transformative in that respect. In addition to the ecological restoration that we will be moving forward with this project along the South Platte River, another component to this is flood risk mitigation. And one of the areas in particular where we'll be addressing flood risk mitigation is along Weir Gulch. Weir Gulch happens to pass through some of the city's most low-income neighborhoods where, when we look at it from an equity lens, we've done a lot of data analysis and mapping to better understand where our communities face some of those challenges to leading healthy, sustainable lives. We see that a lot of those communities are also within our project area along Weir Gulch. And so we will be focused in Weir Gulch on flood risk mitigation. As a result of our project, we anticipate at least 360 structures will be removed from floodplain designation, which means they are removed from the burden of flood insurance, but also the burden of recovering from a major precipitation or flood event. In my opinion, climate adaptation, what is really critical is not just addressing what we need to address for today, but thinking about what do we need to do to ensure that things are set up for success tomorrow and for future generations to come. So for me, what's really exciting about this project is that this is adaptation in action. This is, I've done a lot of jobs where I've thought about what is adaptation, what could it be, and very idealistic, but what does it actually mean to put things in the ground? And to me, that's what this project is. It's actually recognizing that with climate change, we are seeing more severe storms, and with that, more increase in flooding events, et cetera. And so we are addressing that by protecting more vulnerable homes from those flooding events and associated impacts. And it's thinking about these holistic projects that this isn't just an eco-restoration project. This is an eco-restoration project. This is an open space project. This is a mobility project. This is a project that focuses on reducing urban heat island and thinking through, what are all the different ways we can make sure Denver is resilient as these climate impacts occur.